I feel like it's safe to say that Teen Titans make the characters their own, right? Like, the core elements are still there, but they pretty obviously differ from the other iterations of themselves. My point is, it's pretty much their own characters. They can make new storylines, but sometimes the classics don't hurt. Which brings us to Season 2. Yeah, this isn't the start of Season 2, but it is the start of the Judas contract storyline, which is, of course, based off the comic storyline of the same name. And instead of doing the same thing of just going over the episodes, I'm going to do a full comparison, just seeing how they differ. And spoilers, they differ pretty drastically. And in saying that, this isn't going to be a critique or a fault the show for not following it one-to-one, or even saying the show's better. This is just to talk about the two and compare them. And just to be clear, there are things that happen in the comic that serve like little to no relevance to the show, so I won't be able to go over everything in the comics. But if you want, just let me know and I can make a video on it. I like how this shot here represents the journey of Terra. She's in trouble with this dangerous predator, and the path leads her to the Titans. I don't want to say the scorpion represents Slade, but it is orange and black. Shit, maybe even Slade sent the scorpion after Terra to test her. Not saying like the Teen Titans world is normal or anything, but a giant scorpion in the middle of the desert is pretty strange.
What? Haven't you guys ever seen a superhero before?
Okay, so the meeting of Terra. So first off, we actually meet Terra in costume, and we don't meet her during the Judas contract arc. We meet her actually before the arc in issue number 26, which is like 16 issues before we even get to the arc. And the Titans don't meet Terra altogether. Beast Boy is actually the one that's introduced to her first, while Terra is causing havoc at the Statue of Liberty, and basically loudly announcing she's in trouble with some people. Also, this is happening during like a runaway kid storyline, so as the readers, we believe that Terra is involved with that, but she has actually nothing to do with the runaways. She's actually involved with some terrorists, we find out later, but that's not really important right now. But no, seriously, her teeth look fucking huge in the comics. But since you're seeing his name now, Brian Markov is Terra's brother. He goes by Geoforce in the comics, but he serves no relevance to the show at all. And they are members of the royal family of the country Markovia, which again, serves no relevance to the show at all. I just wanted to mention it because I'll never be able to talk about it again because, again, serves no relevance. And as well, the team is pretty different. While yes, Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, and Raven are in the comics, Wonder Girl and technically Kid Flash are part of the team. And I say technically for Kid Flash because he does just like leave in the beginning of the Judas contract. But he does befriend and work with Terra before the arc. So I feel like it's only right to mention our boy Wally. And kind of like semi-funny thing here is that I feel like we're, as readers, meant to believe he's going to like come back at one point. He just never does. So can you imagine how that fucking phone call went? Titans, go! How did the Titans find out about this? We see last episode they had this like city sector alert, and I figured they're notified somehow when other crimes happen. But what the hell sent them here? Because this desert looks pretty deserted.
Question is,
Who is she?
Don't get too attached, my young friend. I saw her first.
Okay, so I don't want to talk about things that happen later just to like pace myself. Not because I care about spoilers, because like, come on, the comic came out like 30 years ago. But just to say, Slade knew Terra well before the events of the Judas contract arc, which from now on I will just be calling the Judas arc. And yeah, it's implied he already knew about her before this episode, but in the comics, they knew each other, well, let's just say pretty well. Hey, Terra, woohoo! Over here.
And Boy Beast. I mean, Bass Boot. No, Beast Boy? Dude, he's hilarious.
So in the comics, Terra is much more of an asshole and can't fucking stand Beast Boy. I'm glad they changed that because, man, she's just like really unlikable in the comics. And I get that's like the point of like the story they're trying to tell with her. But just because her personality is supposed to be rude doesn't want to make me enjoy her more.
Nice digs! And check out the view! I can't believe you guys actually lived.
Cyborg and Starfire are in this shot, but next shot they just disappear.
Might you now wish to partake of my homemade glorg? No! Tastes like sushi mixed with ice cream.
That cannot be fucking good in any world.
Sorry.
Since this is a full comparison of the Judas arc and Terra's full character, I guess it's fine to say that Terra isn't exactly dirty in the comics. She's not really prim and proper either, but she's much more ladylike in the comics. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to be saying one thing did better than the other thing, but I do like that Terra and Beast Boy have a genuine connection in the show, rather than Beast Boy like basically harassing her in the comics and her despising him in the comics. It really helps sells later moments down the line.
Sorry, I'm so stupid. Don't tell, please don't tell.
Terra, it's okay. You can't totally control your powers. So what?
Promise you won't tell anybody, ever.
Terra not having control over her powers wasn't really an issue in the comics. Like, yeah, she wasn't at her peak when we first met her, but she was still pretty capable.
Booyah! New course record!
Okay, what is this 110 representing? Because when it's Terra's turn, it is a timer, but Cyborg's watch says 217, so it can't be 110, meaning it has to be seconds, right? Wrong, because 110 seconds is 150. So what the hell is this thing?
Booyah! New course record!
Well, yeah. You're the first one to do the course.
I thought Cyborg was implying that he was breaking a pre-existing record, but Raven makes it sound like this is their first time ever using it. But we have at least seen Robin use it literally last episode. Cyborg put on his lucky white gloves with the wholesome but foolish idea of giving Terra luck. Yeah, no, I think it's fine, guys. Just leave the real lasers on for her. I think she's gonna be fine. We know that Cyborg's eye does light up as like a little alarm, but for here it just doesn't.
Robin!
Okay, Star was just like right in front of this crane, but now she is further away from it, and there was just one guy. Now it has like 3. Okay, you gotta admit, that probably feels a little good. Robin just not giving a shit about Beast Boy again.
Slade.
Terra actually did go after Slade in the comics alone, but there it was more orchestrated by Deathstroke and Terra. But here it is obviously set up by just Slade to get Terra alone.
Earthquakes.
Think of it as a Terra Easter egg. No? Too much? Alright.
You need more than obstacle courses to overcome your problem.
That dialogue just hinting that Slade is always watching him is just perfection.
And I can teach you to shine.
Okay, how much aura would he have lost if there wasn't a diamond there?
Beast Boy.
Can't keep his mouth shut forever. He'll tell them.
It's okay, Terra. I'm here. I'm here.
You won't.
I'm not gonna tell anybody. I promise.
Like I mentioned before, her powers aren't the reason she has a hard time joining the Titans in the comics. It's more of an issue of trust, even though it's a fake issue of trust, trying to gain the trust of the Titans. Trust meta. But anyways, in the show and the comic, Terra's issue with trust is a thing. In the show, it's real and is the reason Terra goes down a dark path.
Gonna be a Titan?
Me? Really?
Of course, you'll need...
Terra doesn't become a Titan in her first appearance. Actually, she becomes one like 4 issues later.
You told him?
I didn't.
You promised. You lied to me. You lied!
This moment is a lot more tragic knowing everything that happens after. A simple misunderstanding leading Terra down the wrong path.
Just figured it out. I didn't know it was a secret.
She didn't even say goodbye.
Damn, she even left her backpack.
Run all you like. Because no matter where you go, every step brings you closer to me.
So to me, this episode feels like going down that familiar road on the way to your childhood home. It's the beginning of nostalgia lane for me, and I love it, man. Season 2 is probably my favorite season of the entire show, and this got me yelling at the screen like, no, Robin, don't say that, or no, Terra, don't get after Slade. But from an unbiased view, how is this episode? Well, it's pretty good. Like, it's the start of an arc, so it's got to lay out some stuff. Terra as a character, Terra not being able to control her powers, Terra and Beast Boy's relationship, and Slade returning as the main villain. And I think it does a fairly good job with its runtime and laying out all that stuff. Like I mentioned before, the ending is one of those things where it's more impactful as the story goes on. So first time watching, you might be like, damn. But if you already watched season 2, the emotional impact will be stronger. And this isn't faulting the show because one, it makes for a nice little rewatch. And two, it shows how they planned ahead of the story. But I don't want to say too much because it is the start of the arc, so I'll have time over the course of it just to give my thoughts. And at the end, of course, I'll give my full thoughts. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice night. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Have a nice life. Peace, peace.